What's up, everybody? So, is it live on your thing, Trey?
Not yet. It's still there. I'm looking for
Okay,
another.
okay, good. So that's
There's
that.
gonna be a delay.
But now mine ain't.
Lord.
Okay, it says you are live. But what? But why hasn't?
It's like a delay, just so you know.
Yeah, it's going to be a slight delay. Okay, let me refresh. Oh, that's why. That's why. What's up, everybody?
It's AlexisMaurice and
we are live.
so bear with us, y'all. This is our first time. Maurice wanted to try some new shit, like some 2027 shit, where we live to record. So we're recording live, and it's like on my Instagram, it's on his Instagram, it's on his Facebook, it's on YouTube. So right now, all those platforms are seeing us live.
Yes. Okay. So
is that your thinking?
Yeah, that's me ding. Okay.
So, why you not serve?
Okay. So remove. Now let me add myself back.
Oh, let me take a sip of my drink because you about to stress me out.
Save changes. Okay. Now go live.
Yeah.
Now see, I got your shit up and running, but now my shit ain't up and running. Look at yours. Oh, wait a minute. I think okay, there it goes. 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 There it goes.
But I think it took mine off. It did.
No, yours is still running. Oh. Don't worry. Hold on. Just 1 second. No, yours is still connected.
No, I'm looking at it. I'm not on live. You're on live, not me. You, not me. You, not me. You, not me. So y'all know typically when we record, we bring y'all an episode with the edits and all. But Maurice decided to want to go live and put it on all of our channels. But for some reason,
no,
there's a glitch in the system.
I see what I did wrong last time. Trey, yours is still live. It's showing live.
No, that's you.
No, it's you. Oh, that's the wind up.
Yeah. Like when I go here, see, look. See, it shows you're live. Okay. When I go over here, now I'm live. Now I am.
Yeah, you're live. Yeah. I'm telling you, you're live, nigga.
It just went. It just popped up. Okay.
So am I live? See, this is how what's gonna look like having a team in the future, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's why I said we should have did this once we had a team, but
no, okay, yeah, I'm live on both of them too.
We need to stick to our strengths and work on
No, we gotta move forward. We're gonna have technical difficulties, but we're definitely gonna move forward, okay?
Okay. So all right.
We're gonna have
talk about it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
We're gonna have moments where things get a little hectic, but we're gonna have to make it work.
Okay. What are you looking at, Maurice?
Okay, I'm just making sure that
What are you currently looking at?
I was just making sure that we was live on all of the platforms. So we're live on Facebook. We're live on the Wine Up Facebook. We're live on my Facebook. We are live on your Instagram. We are live on my Instagram. And we are live on YouTube. Okay?
Okay.
So what's up, everybody? Oh, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb, too.
I been did that.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm professional.
What's up, everybody? I'm AlexisMaurice and my co-host, Mr.
Trei Hollywood.
And we are live, okay? Welcome to an all-new episode of The Wine Up. So go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine, pull up a chair, because tonight we're going to be talking about some things. We're going to talk about this whole Charlie Kirk fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the white nationalists, the racists in the world are in an uproar because this man is no longer with us. Sorry to that man and his family and his children or whatever. And also, as a result, ABC, because of some of the comments that Jimmy Kimmel, late night host Jimmy Kimmel, made about Charlie Kirk, they have suspended his show indefinitely, I think to the point where they're probably going to end up canceling the show.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about Damon Dash. Recently went over to the Breakfast Club, and he had a lot of things to say about Charlamagne the God. And we're going to unpack that, along with some comments that Snoop Dogg made and Young Thug made a couple of weeks ago. So go ahead, pour yourself a glass of wine, pull up a chair, because the Wine Up starts now. Before we begin, please make sure that you like this video, share it. We're live on all of your social media platforms. Comment, let us know what you're thinking as we're going along. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you receive notifications. Hit that button. Go ahead and hit that button to help run those numbers up from this particular point. So, first off, before we begin, we definitely want to say congratulations to Cardi B. Cardi B made an announcement. She been playing in our face for the past couple of weeks, y'all. Even when she was on trial, everybody thought Cardi B was pregnant, but she said that she wasn't pregnant, but she recently revealed that she's pregnant with baby number
4.
Number 4. So she had 3 kids with Offset from the Migos. And now she has a baby with Stephon Diggs. He plays for who, Trey?
Who does Stephon play for now?
I don't know.
I actually know.
I
want to say the Giants, but I feel like I'm wrong.
Stephon Diggs.
Hey, chat, tell us who Stephon played for.
He's a wide receiver. He played for the Patriots.
See, I didn't even know he moved over there. Okay.
He entered the draft in 2015. He started off with the Minnesota, Lord have mercy, Minnesota Vikings. Ooh. Or whatever. But they have confirmed that they are actually pregnant. Now, did you see what Offset tweeted when he found out about that? Did you hear about that?
You know, I've told you this before. In the recent days, I've tried to eliminate myself from seeing so much unnecessary bullshit on social media. So no, I did not see what Offset had to say about his baby mama or wife. What did he have to say about her?
Baby, he had said something about it. I'm about to tell you exactly what he had said just now. So Offset tweeted, and I thought it was, I low-key kind of thought it was a little disrespectful, because men be out here saying whatever they want to say. I mean, do whatever they want to do when they out there having, babies and stuff like that with several different people.
Just tell us, Maurice, what did he say?
I'm trying to get to it. It says something.
See, you shouldn't even brought this up if you didn't even have it already screenshotted. Come on now, Maurice.
Listen.
What is happening? You get one little interview with Monique, and now you're all shattered and frantic. Lord have mercy. Help.
All I know, he said divorce wasn't even final yet, and you already popping out another man's baby. He said something along those lines. I don't know, Jack.
The thing about it is the baby ain't even popped out yet. Okay, let's just say the divorce happens to be happening and happens before the baby pops out. What's wrong with Cardi B actually being happy and being in a relationship with somebody that she loves and loves her? The men be out here in these streets doing it, popping pussies and getting people pregnant while they still married. So why she can't do it? What's your thought on that?
The thing about it is, like I said, men can go out. There's a double standard. There's a clear double standard when it comes to stuff like this. Men can go out and have multiple babies with multiple women, of different nationalities, different backgrounds.
Nick Cannon.
Yeah. But nobody really says anything. Yeah, we make, little jokes. Nick Cannon got 17,000 kids or whatever. But when a woman does that, she's looked upon, she's frowned upon like a hoe or a tramp, or just like he said, that whole reverse psychology foolishness. You ain't even divorced yet. Ink ain't even dried on the paper yet. And you're running out and getting pregnant by somebody else or whatever. That kind of makes the woman looks like she's fast or she's loose or whatever the case may be. But just like a man can go out and move on with his life, if she chooses to go out and move on with her life and have a baby with someone else, she shouldn't be looked upon, or she should be frowned upon or looked at as like a hoe. I don't like that double standard.
I think the thing about it is that he's in a situation where he's bitter, he's mad, and so he's acting out. And I think that's easier to just go onto social media and see all these things about her and think that it's gonna spirit something, because you already have people who are against Cardi B, who don't like her because they don't like because of Nicki. But you know what? Cardi's doing her big thing. She's about to release an album that comes out. She's got a tour coming.
Am I the drama?
Am I
the drama? Okay.
So shout out to Cardi. She's been doing her marketing. Her marketing's been hilarious on social media.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping she does big things. And you know what? Show the naysayers, girl. Show the naysayers.
Let me ask you a question. Since we were kind of talking about kids for just one quick second, just to kind of go off. I don't think we've ever really talked about this before, but Nick Cannon or whatever. Nick Cannon is someone who has multiple children with multiple baby mamas or whatever. How do you feel about that? Like, does it really matter, or do you think it's responsible, or is it irresponsible? Do you think he has the bandwidth to give all of those kids all of the fathering or the nurturing or the attention or the love that they actually deserve and should need? Or is he being irresponsible by kind of putting that all on the mom? What do you think about him?
Well, for me, I often find myself being in other people's business when it comes to certain things. But for this particular situation, I feel like it ain't none of my business. I don't think it's other people's business either. I think that as long as Nick Cannon is being a part of those children's lives, all this is calculated. Obviously, it's not just out here doing this person. He has a relationship with these children's mothers. Mm-hmm. He has a relationship with the children. So for me, it's kind of like, hey, as long as he's building that relationship and it's people out here who don't do that. And they only have one child. So as long as Nick Cannon doing his part to be in those lives, kudos to him. Ain't none of my business what he landed, how he landed.
But Trei, having that many kids spread out amongst different people,
right?
And he works as hard as he does. Nick Cannon is one of the most hardest working, people in Hollywood. But that's a lot of kids. You got Monroe Moroccan. That's of course with Mariah Carey. You got Golden, Powerful Queen, Zion, Zillion, Zen, Legendary Love, Onyx, Ice Cold, Rise, Messiah, Beautiful, Zeppelin, and Harlow Marie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 children.
Wait, let me tell you what pisses me off about that.
That's a lot of kids.
No,
wait a minute.
Wait. Hold on. Let me tell you what pisses me off about it is the names. Because what in the fuck?
Well, I'm pretty sure.
Where are you pulling from?
These are strong, powerful Black names. Calling your daughter or children beautiful, and Halo, and Onyx, and Rise, Messiah, and Legendary Love, Zen, Zillion, Zion, Powerful Queen, Monroe Morocco. Those are powerful, strong names where he's
No, nigga. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's these celebrities trying to have these creative names like Blue and North and South and East and West. Bitch, no. What happened to Tom, Dick, and Harry? What happened to these normal names? Because first of all, this is the problem with Black people. They always try to come with these creative names, and these names just don't be making no kind of sense. For example, my legal name is Tavares. It was coming from a singing group from the 70s. It was one of my dad's favorite singing groups.
There was a singing group called Tavares
with an E, but my dad told my mom that this child is for us, so that he did with the US. So, it was some creativity there. But then you got North and Messiah and Jesus and Like, what? What is that? Anywho, someone in the comments said he's creating broken homes. So obviously somebody does agree with you and say that he's creating broken homes.
I kind of agree with that. I do feel like you're creating a situation where it's not equal or whatever. Like for parenting, you got to be present. And for him to be present in all of these these kids' lives, and they're multiple places. I don't know if he has a compound. I don't know if that was true or not, but it was like he was going to be building, or they were all going to be on the compound. I know Mariah Carey ain't going for it or whatever, but I don't know if that's the most responsible thing when, for years, the African-American community has been battling absent fathers. And it's a difference between being able to provide for your kids. Yes, I'm going to give you money and I'm going to make sure you have access to, these schools or these resources. But it's also important for you to be there too.
That's deep. So someone said you could have 14 kids with one woman. You out here planting flowers and watching them grow. Okay. I mean, some people like to watch the flowers grow, though. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole thing of bouquet of roses over here on my counter, and I'm watching them grow. But I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, it can be hard on some people. I think the important thing is as long as they are in their lives.
But is that
have all the motherfuckers over on Christmas, Thanksgiving?
But see, that's my thing.
But the thing about it is we see him with them though.
It's just more than just being there on holidays. Like people always say, parent, some baby mamas, some women out there, oh, he only get the kids on holidays and be putting these pictures up like he's this active father, and the other 364 days of the year.
Come on, Portia, get it out.
364 days of the year, you ain't nowhere around. He ain't ever around. I don't know.
But is that the case though? How do we get on this? How do we get on this tangent about?
I don't know, because
that wasn't even a topic tonight. That wasn't even a topic. What are you talking about, Nick Cannon?
I know. We can go ahead and move on, but I was just always we never really got the opportunity to talk about the whole Nick Cannon thing and how responsible that is to have that many kids with different people, different relationships. You got to, like, you almost setting yourself up, because what if one mama get jealous of the other mama and they get mad because maybe you want to see? I don't know. It just seems like a lot. But at the end of the day, beginning of the morning, middle of the afternoon, you said it best at the top of the episode. This ain't really none of my business or whatever. So nope. I'm going to leave it alone. Now, another thing that has not been our business, but they have been making it our business.
Right.
It's this whole Charlie Kirk situation. So you guys know Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is a right-wing conservative extremist white nationalist, in my opinion. And the bullet point that they have seemed to be...
It's too soon to be using the word bullet. It's too soon to be using the word bullet. It's too soon to be using the word bullet.
All right.
Okay. Right.
What do you call it?
The point. Just say the point.
The other name or description or characteristic or whatever they want to call him is Christian as well too. So Charlie Kirk is the head of the was the head of the Turning Point organization. Like I said, it's a conservative right-wing kind of foundation that believes in Christian values and basically white man being first and all kind of stuff like that. This organization, he was going around college campuses, because it's always been said that, colleges are very liberal. The conservative voice doesn't really have a place on college campuses. So he was on a tour and has been doing this for several years, where he goes and spews, in my opinion, from what I've saw, a lot of hateful rhetoric, a lot of prejudice rhetoric, a lot of racist rhetoric. He's made a lot of comments, so much to the fact where he's called Black people and Black women incompetent, called us stupid. He's afraid to ride a plane if there's a Black pilot. Slavery was, it was a good system for us. On top of it, he said a lot of hateful things. Well, he was shot and killed last week during one of his college tours in Utah. He was shot in the neck. And he was, he was taken to the hospital and he was later pronounced dead. This has sent conservatives, white people, specifically white men, up in a roar in this country. And Black people are somehow becoming I don't know, it's like we're becoming a target of this whole situation. Now, when we saw him get murdered, he got shot in the neck on live TV. Like, people saw it. The videos are out there. We didn't post it on the Wind Up page just out of respect. But there has been a lot of people who have not been empathetic and have said things like good riddance. They have said things like karma, kind of came back and bit him in the ass, things of that particular nature. Now, Trei and I, we do not condone violence or whatever. And I'm kind of taking my time with this, and I'm stuttering just a little bit because what we've seen is there have been a lot of people who have been losing their jobs. A lot of people who have been suspended from their jobs. There are lists that are being made out there that have been generated where people are taking it to their employers, trying to get people fired because of the views that they have expressed regarding Charlie Kirk's death. Okay. People are saying that people are celebrating his death. I don't think anyone has been celebrating his death. I do think there has been a lack of empathy for him and his situation. Again, he's married with 2 kids, and sorry to his wife. Some people don't have that same viewpoint because no one deserves to be shot. And those kids no longer have a father. But at the same time, as a person of color, hearing some of the things that he has said about Black people or any people of color in the past, and how we are below, standards, that, we need to go back to just all of that mean stuff that he said. Black people don't have empathy, or there are people, not just Black people, there are people out there who are not empathetic. Just like he said he wouldn't be empathetic, when it came to George Floyd or whatever. I don't know. This is a very touchy subject, and as a result, Jimmy Kimmel has been fired. We'll get to that. But Trei, what are your thoughts on the whole his shooting and the things that you have seen since then? And I would encourage you to be careful, because at the end of the day, which is what people like Trump and all of them want. They want to silence us. They want to take away our First Amendment right. But just be mindful of what you say in this case. And I know that's very hard for you or whatever. And it's hard for me too, because I think one of the things about us, we kind of pride ourselves on saying it like we mean it. How we feel is how we feel. But there have been attacks against people and their livelihood because we lack empathy, or some people lack empathy about this young man's untimely death.
So let me just educate the community of the white people right now. Growing up as a Black man or a Black young man, whenever we did something as a child or as a teenager that was dumb, say we were skipping, say we were showing out in class, show that we said something back to our parent that we weren't supposed to say, we got our ass whooped. And there was no empathy that was given by our parents because we brought that on ourselves. Now you may say, Trei, where are you going with that?
The decisions that we made sometimes.
Correct. Now some people may say, Trei, where are you going with that? And I always try to teach my younger friends or my friends at my same age that the tongue is a powerful thing. You speak things into the universe and it comes back, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Now, I didn't know about this young man before he was murdered. I didn't know who the fuck he was, never heard of him.
A lot of people didn't, actually.
Right. But when it happened, I said, let me take a step and go look and see what this motherfucker had to say. And he said some disrespectful, disgusting, low down 30 things. He said some things that's dirtier than Donald Trump.
Yes.
And I said to myself, while I'm sorry for his kids, because I don't condone violence, I don't think, even if we disagree in this world and have different opinions on anything, we should not pick up a weapon and harm someone. But I say this to say that when you speak the things you speak into the world on other people, it will tenfold and come back to you.
Yeah.
Even more.
Right.
So,
I mean,
do I empathize for I empathize. No. I don't empathize. I sympathize for his family. I have sympathy for them. Because let's just say his wife might even agree with the shit they used to say.
Oh, she agrees because she's taking over his organization.
See, you know what? Then I was you shut up, Trey. Don't say that.
Yeah, I mean, there's something. Yeah, some people have been saying things like "fuck them kids." You know,
that ain't right. That ain't right. Kids ain't
I don't, because at the end of the day, his kids may grow up. They may see the things that their father said, and they may think that that's wrong. So I don't think it's good or right to say "f them kids" because that's not cool. Mm-hmm. But you know, one of the things that he was big on is the Second Amendment right, the right to bear arms. And he even once said something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing here, that sometimes there have to be sacrificial deaths to protect our right to bear arms. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, damn, you know, are all of the kids who are getting shot, who have been shot across our nation, you know, over these last couple of decades, you know, going into these school shootings, are those sacrificial killings to make sure that we maintain the right to bear arms? Like, that's when he says things like that. Oh, I get nervous when I get on a plane and there's a black pilot. Or we talk about the intelligence and the incompetence level of black women. Slavery was good for us. The stuff that he says, and I think that's the part that troubles me so much. People are saying he was a good Christian man. Well, those of us who grew up as Christians and try to live our lives as Christians, nothing about what that man said is
Christian-like.
Okay? Mm-hmm. He's very divisive, okay? He has monetized on creating chaos and confusion. And even with this organization Turning Point, I believe he was on a mission funded by a bunch of other white nationalists, these Project 2025 people that, by the way, Project 2025 is live, okay, people? If y'all are not paying attention, it's live. Mm-hmm. They have been going around the country trying to radicalize younger white men and women, okay, for this movement, because they feel like they're losing their place in society. These white men and these white women with these conservative values are being passed off as Christian, and it ain't Christian. It's not Christian at all. Okay, because it's not about love. It's not about acceptance. And I'm not even going to get started on the things that he said about gay people and what should happen to gay people. I don't understand how people are saying he was a devout Christian. That ain't about no damn Christianity. Okay,
and that ain't got shit to do with it.
Right, and I think what's happening is people are confusing being a white nationalist with being a Christian, okay? And those are not the same things. I strongly believe if Charlie Kirk was a Christian, the division that his death has caused in our country would not be happening right now. If he was a man of faith, if he was a real Christian man that lived his life and preached and lived his life in the values of Christ, our country wouldn't be in an uproar right now. Jimmy Kimmel would not have lost his job. Stephen Colbert would not have lost his job because the whole country would have been mourning someone who lived a life of Christian values that inspire other people. He has inspired hate, okay? And that's all that I'm seeing now. Just like how George Floyd was something that during the pandemic, the whole world got to see this black man die at the hands of the police, pressure on his neck. I can't breathe. And this man made a mockery of that. He has said hurtful things about us. And what's baffling me is y'all expect us to feel sad or have empathy. Yes, we don't like and condone the way that he died or whatever, but it's a little hard sometimes for people who have been oppressed or people who have been subject to hate and racist comments and rhetoric, encouraging and inciting violence and things like that on other people, it's a rock and a hard place for us to find that. So I don't know what's going to happen, because I watch The View. Mm-hmm. When things happen in the world, I'm ready to watch The View every day to see what Whoopi, Joy, Sunny, Allison, Alyssa, and Sarah, and even Anna have to say about what's going on in the world. And it's different viewpoints. You got conservative, you got young liberals, you got black, you got white, you got Latina or whatever. And to see when they did not talk about this today, Jimmy Kimmel losing his job as a result of what he said, and I personally don't think he said anything that was outrageous when it came to it. But to see that they, ABC, Disney, decided to suspend his show indefinitely. You got the head of the FCC going onto a podcast celebrating that. That to me it's showing that, guys, whether you care about politics or not, we are being silenced, okay? And you got to be careful when stuff like this start happening, because we've already been moving to get into a fascist kind of government, or, the way that our democracy is moving. We're moving to be, like me and my friend Dion was talking about, we're going to have one king or whatever. There are not going to be any more elections. And when you start speaking out against the government, or you start speaking out against our government leaders, you're going to be silenced and you're going to be dealt with. You will lose your livelihood. They are activating the military and moving them into cities to quote unquote stop violence, when the crime in these cities that they're wanting to go to have been steadily on the decline. We're always going to have crime. We're always going to have things. So I just think we need to be careful about where we're moving, okay? Because just like they're creating lists and they're taking it to people's employers. Look at these people, what they're talking about. You need to fire them. Just like how George Floyd was a trigger point for black people, Charlie Kirk is a trigger point for white people. And they want to get us back. They want to make us feel some type of way. And this ain't none of our damn business. It ain't. This was another white.
I'm just sitting here watching. I feel like this particular thing just should have been one episode, because you going off the track.
I know. I'm running my mouth.
What we discussed.
I know. I'm talking to Trey, just sitting here, and I apologize. And I hate this, because I know what I want to say, but I can't say it the way that I want to say it, because at the end of the day, I do need my job right now, but I feel like myself or any other people, we're being silenced or whatever. And unfortunately, I don't have tons of money just sitting around where I can, I don't have that. I have people who depend on me and me depending on myself, and this is what they want us to do. Trey, do you have anything else you want to say about this?
Like, can I speak? Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that for me, I try to put myself in a space, and I encourage everybody else to do the same. But I think like the impact that we have made on Target should be the same impact that we make on all these other sources. Like, for example, I saw somebody earlier say, should we go ahead and unsubscribe for Disney? I'm down. Now, would I miss my stuff? Yeah. But there's a bigger picture here, right? Yeah. There's a bigger picture. And I think that's how we have to operate. Yes. When we move in numbers, we make an impact. And we have shown with Target. Mm-hmm. We've shown with other things. Mm-hmm. So if we got to come together and say, you know what, let's stop supporting these motherfuckers who don't support us. Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Yes. I agree with you 100%. We didn't get to talk about that a little bit as well, too. The whole boycotting. Black people, we have to understand and remember that we are we have the most buying power in this country. Okay. We don't have as much wealth as other people do, but we tend to support and buy the things that we want to support and buy. And it makes a difference when we can all come together and we can get on the same accord. And if we're saying that we're going to boycott Target, we all need to be on the same page. And I do feel that we have an opportunity, just like some people feel like the Democrats have an opportunity, where we have to work on messaging to make sure that everyone, the message is out, we're all on the same page and we're doing these things. But it makes a difference, okay? Right. The thought of, boycotting Disney, because Disney owns ABC, which is where Kimmel's show was. Disney owns Marvel, they own Hulu, so ESPN, we those are big things, those are big companies or whatever, but we have to get back in the habit of organizing. People always say, well, why is it that gay people, this the gay agenda and all of this stuff or whatever. But the thing about gay people is a lot of gay people know how to mobilize, okay? You talk about, they put this show, and we're going to get into this in a few minutes, but we gay people know how to, this is the plan.
I laugh because I had this conversation with my friend, and we literally, him and I literally talk about what you're about to say, and when we talk about gay people, and I'd be like, not just gay people, black people, people in general, but he is so just strong. He's strong on so many creative gay people, and how we have a real strong community to be able to do a lot of things. So where you're going, him and I have had these conversations. So go ahead. That's why I laughed.
Yeah, and so we know how to mobilize. When it's something that we want to do, we know how to make it happen. We know how to come together or whatever. Now, at the end of the day, the beginning of the morning, middle of the afternoon, we black first, okay? And we ain't gonna never, ever forget that. We can't forget that, because you look at our skin, it reminds us of that every day. But we got to get better at coming together on one accord to make sure we're there. The church used to be the place where we used to go to for stuff like this. It used to be the place where you can go to, and the same message every Sunday, wherever you were going, people knew, our activists, our when it came to protests and stuff like that, we went to the church, got the message, we got the directions, we went out there, put our boots to the ground or whatever, and did what we had to do. Now you got churches they just all about making money or putting money back into the pastor's hands, but that's neither here nor there. Mm-hmm. We got to be careful where we're going. And again, I'm sorry if I'm stumbling just a little bit, because there's so much that I want to say that I can't say or whatever, in fear, if I'm being honest with you, of possibly an employer or someone retaliating against me and cutting off my livelihood. But Jimmy Kimmel, I am glad to see so many people are in support of him, and they are rallying around him, because at the end of the day, I didn't see a lot of what was wrong with what he said in comparison. And all he was basically saying was how the people on the right are doing their absolute most to make sure that, trying to avoid that the person who shot Charlie Kirk was a white man. He was a MAGA supporter. His family was a MAGA supporter. I believe he liked Trei. I saw, so I don't know if that stuff is true, but it was one of their own who did this, not us.
Mm-hmm. I even saw some people who agree with Donald Trump and all his policies and everything, saying that they was hoping that it was a black man.
Yeah,
they were hoping that it wasn't one of their own. Like, why are we so divided? Why are we so divided? And like you said something earlier where they were saying, where he said that slavery was good for us. The only thing that I will say about that is that for me, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. You know what slavery was? Because it made us black people stronger. It made us more perseverant. Mm-hmm. It made us what we are and how hard we fight for things.
Well, we were all that before slavery too. Now wait a minute.
Well, I mean, I can't say that. I mean, I'm just saying. I just think it made us who we are today. It makes us fight harder. for where we at today.
Okay.
Now, I went around when slavery was happening, but maybe I've done history and I know what I've not done seen and read and watched. And I think that because of those things, it have made us want to be better than what our people had to go through. Now, I'm not saying all white people are the same, because like Shell, my best friend, she's white. I have other friends that are white. They're not all the same. But what we ask is that people don't understand why people don't have empathy or sympathy for the situation because of the things that he said about blacks, about women, about gays. It's just disgusting.
Latinas, Asians, he didn't just stop with just black people.
Yeah.
His message was full of hate. It was just hate, and that's not Christ-like. That's not Christ-like at all. So I'm gonna stop there. Again, there's so much I want to say. Maybe we can come back and revisit this a later time. Now, another person who recently went somewhere and spoke a message of hate and
a couple of people, honestly, but yeah,
was Damon Dash. Damon Dash recently went on the Breakfast Club, and one of the things that he talked about was challenging Charlemagne the God's, my South Carolina brethren, masculinity. Okay. He said because Charlemagne, quote unquote, gossips, that because Wendy Williams was his OG, he feels like he is not a positive representation of what Black masculinity is in this country, or what it should be about, or what it means or stands up to be what it means to be masculine. And one of the things that I really didn't hear him or a lot of these people who like to make this argument, because when I heard, I was like, Lord, here we go again. What was his definition of masculinity or whatever? Because I didn't hear that.
He said it. I mean, he said it without saying that, basically in a sense of someone who wouldn't run from getting jumped, someone who don't gossip, someone who he feel like would whoop somebody's ass. So the problem with me in this situation is that, and I've said this before, and I've said it many times, I continue to say it, masculinity does not define somebody's sexuality.
No.
And just because Charlemagne the God is not the most masculine man to him, does not make him gay. Now, have the gay community ever thought that Charlemagne was gay? Yes, we have.
With his thick ass.
We have. Some of us may have wanted him to be gay. But for a straight man, Damon Dash, to come onto a person's show and disrespect him the way he did, he not only called this man gay, he also talked about his business. He also told him he would punch him in his face. He told him they was outside in the parking lot right now, or whatever.
He called them dumb and ignorant several times.
There were so many situations or so many things that was said that would have made me say to you, all right, let's remove him from my show.
Remember Wendy Williams did that to Omarosa or whatever?
Maybe
because you're on my show.
Yes, go on my shit. So I think that is a very ignorant statement and very ignorant thing for him to say to Charlemagne, because at the end of the day, a man is going to be who he is, whether he's straight, gay, or bisexual. But it does not mean that you can come onto somebody's show and disrespect them and call him all these things. Because for me, it felt like he felt like he's been holding this in. He's been wanting to get this off his chest. He's been thinking about this shit, and you can tell that he watched the show, because every little thing that Charlemagne said, he had something to say about it.
He came with a mission.
So
just like when he came on our show with a mission when she was here for the interview, she came with a purpose, and he came with a purpose, and she came to get your ass together, Trey. Okay, but anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she tried. She tried. She did. She got me together. She did.
Right.
But I just think that it was very disrespectful, and for me, I felt like he was battling with his own sexuality. I felt like it's a possibility he may have a crush, because the way he acted was like how somebody would act back in middle school when they like somebody and they acting out. That's what it felt like to me.
Right. I do feel like some of the banter that him and Charlemagne had, it was a little, it was a little jokey or whatever. I don't think Charlemagne was really taking anything that Damon was saying serious. And hence the way that he laughed at him constantly every time he would try to make a point. And I wasn't taking it serious either. But I do think we have to be careful of that type of banter and the message that we're trying to send across, because just because a person sleeps with someone of the same sex, specifically men, that don't make them no less than a man, okay? Trey said it best earlier. My sexual preference has nothing to do with my masculinity. Okay, it does not define my masculinity. There are some people out here who are more feminine or whatever, who are in the homosexual lifestyle. But at the end of the day, in the beginning of the morning, middle of the afternoon, bitch, all of us were still raised up as men. Okay, and I still got a dick, I still got hands, and even that, to me, that still don't really define masculinity. Okay.
Right.
I define masculinity as being someone who is sure of who they are, what they are. I look at it as someone who is taking care of their business and confidently doing that. Someone who, like, gay people. I'm trying to be mindful of what I say.
What you gotta say? Say what you gotta say.
I just don't understand why these niggas got so much to say about who people sleep with.
Because they're valid with their own sexuality.
Why are you so damn pressed about who this person is sleeping with in the bed?
Press. Cardi don't need no.
I don't understand. What was the purpose of Damon coming up there? And this is what people like Damon, and even women do this sometimes too, is what they like to do when they feel like they want to chop you down, they go questioning your sexuality or whatever, as if that's supposed to be the end all, the be all. But with gay people, yes, I know I like men or women. Yes, I know I like a woman. I enjoy the company of another man, or I enjoy the company, a woman enjoy the company of another woman. What does that have to do with you? Case in point, Young Thug recently did an interview or whatever, and he talking about he has no respect for men for people who are rats, basically snitches, and people who pretend to be straight, but they're gay undercover. Basically, down low people. Now, some people do have a problem with down low people. People living double lives. Totally get that. But people are in different stages when they come to their sexuality. Okay. I know when I was a kid, and probably when you was a kid, I know I had these feelings, but I also
got this feeling, and I just can't let it loose.
That's something that's a little bit different about me, honey.
Yeah.
I had different feelings that this is what everyone's saying I'm supposed to like, but I find myself liking and feeling attracted to this. And then you get older, you ain't supposed to do that. Boys ain't supposed to do this. And you're in conflict with yourself. So it takes time for people on a journey to discover that, yes, when they can admit that I do like the company of being in another man. My biggest thing is, why are so many people so obsessed by this shit? Why do you care?
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Right.
I want it. Well, I got
all these song references you got going on. Or whatever, like you Young Thug, he was just in jail fighting the fight of your life, but you're worried about if a nigga is gay, but they hanging around you. Obviously, it's something about them that you connect with.
Let me tell you.
Outside of being a homosexual, outside of them and their sexual preference, this is your friend, this is your homeboy. Maybe they aren't ready to share that with you. Maybe they are afraid to share it with you because of the things that you have said in the past. And girl, let's keep it cute, honey. You be wearing dresses and fingernails and all kind of stuff like that, but you worrying about who somebody's sleeping with? Really?
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Doom, 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 doom. Here we go, right? So I'm an individual that also finds myself annoyed with the gay man who portrays to be the straight man.
The down low man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So do I agree with what Young Thug said? No. But do I understand where he's coming from?
Okay.
Yes. Because think of it this way. If you think that your homie's straight and you be talking about females this and you be fucking females here, hell, y'all might have ran a train on a girl. You know, all those stuff. But then in the back of the situation, you also like men. So while we was running this train on this girl, you could have been looking at my dick and fantasizing about my dick. You could have looking at my ass and fantasizing about my ass. So what I want people to kind of understand what he may be thinking is that we may have talked about women this way, or shit. We could have hit the gym one time and then hit the shower one time together. My nigga, you could have been looking at my ass and my dick a certain way. So what I want people to think about is where he's coming from. Maybe hold on, let me finish.
Girl, because I need to stop you right there where you at.
No, you're gonna let me finish. Where he's coming from may be because he thinks that the person has not been open enough to him to share those things to feel more comfortable, for him to feel more comfortable around him. That's just like, for example, I'm gonna go deep here. I'm gonna go deep. When you start dating somebody and you may be asking their status, right? And they may say, you know what, they ain't telling you. Well, my nigga, why you ain't telling me? You have to allow me to still want to maybe be with you. You know what I'm saying? Depending on your status. For him, it may be like, let me understand how I can feel comfortable around you when you are battling with your sexuality, because you may be looking at me the wrong way. Now, what I don't like about what he said was when he said, I got gay people who work for me. I ain't got no problem with gay people. That's just like white people saying they can say the nigga word because they got best friends who are black, or they got black people, or say I'm not racist because my homeboy is black.
Being an employer has nothing to do with your personal conviction. You can
pay
anybody to do a job if they're good. Gay,
and Maurice said this earlier, gay people are very creative and very whatever they are. So you may have gay people work for you because you know what, they may be getting shit done. Because what we will do is get shit done. So don't say that you don't have a problem with gay people because you got gay people working for you, because you'll have a problem, Young Thug, with a white person saying something incorrectly and they say they're not racist because they got black friends. That's my only thing. That's my problem that I had.
My problem with what you just said just now is this. There's this assumption, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm gay, I'm looking at you, okay?
Yeah.
Or I'm looking at you're this. Baby, just because I'm a man that enjoys the company of another man don't mean that I want to be in company with you. Mm-hmm. Or with you, or with mm-hmm. you, okay? That's the part that people need to understand, that just because I'm gay don't mean I want to be with you. And if I'm bisexual,
I want to be with you.
Here you go in another damn song. And just because his friend may be bisexual, okay, you running a train on him. Okay, I like women. I like titties too. I like all of those things as well too. So get out of that mentality that people this, like you said, maybe Young Thug hadn't created a space for friends or whomever to feel like they can come share that with you. That's why you have to be careful about the things that you say or whatever. You know, you never know who could be around you who may be experiencing this. You know, and I've learned this, you know, sometimes people make jokes about people and their statuses and stuff like that, not knowing that there could be multiple people in the room. Whether they may be laughing with you, they may be secretly hurt because you made a joke about something in my life that's very sensitive or that I may be processing or whatever the case may be. That's what people have to be careful. People are in different walks in their journey when it comes to their sexual orientation. Okay? It's not always safe. One of the best things about this country historically, you know, but still is that we do have the rights and we have the freedom to love who we want to love. I don't understand why y'all are so pressed by
press. Cardi don't need no stress.
Snoop Dogg was in the news a couple of weeks ago because he took his grandson to go see the Buzz Lightyear movie.
No, that was his granddaughter.
Grandson, granddaughter, one of the grandchildren. Grandchild said, Papa Snoop, why is it that I guess one of the characters in the cartoon was two women that had a kid? Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, how was two women able to have a kid? And with Snoop, I didn't take offense to what he said. I know a lot of people like T.S. Madison, they were upset with him But my thing with that is he was like, well, I didn't come to the movie for this to have this question asked to me. And I can probably kind of understand where he's coming from. Again, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it just goes to this whole thing, this narrative where, they're forcing it upon our kids or whatever. I just think with media and entertainment, art represents life. Okay. And so sometimes because of the intolerance and the ignorance and the prejudice or racist or whatever views of people, I do think, we have to get to a space where it's okay for people to learn things outside sometimes because their parents may not be teaching them this stuff. They may be limiting them. Now, at the end of the day, you have a right to run your household the way you see fit. I do recognize that. And I respect that too. You have the right to do that because that's your household. But at the same time, we have to make sure we're being responsible corporate citizens by respecting other people's houses and the choices and how they decide to raise their children. That's the beauty of America. That's the beauty of
because this is my problem with it. Because as a parent or a grandparent, it's your duty to protect the child, right? Right? That's just what we all say. But I feel like in the midst of protecting the child, you also need to educate the child. Mm-hmm. The child has to be educated because they're going to go into a world where there's going to be so many different things. Black people, white people, Spanish people, Asian people, Haitian, Jamaican. But also they're going to go into a world where people like the same sex. They're going to go into a world where people have certain jobs. Mm-hmm. They're going to go into a certain world where people dress a certain way.
Or identify. I identify as a tree.
Correct.
I
identify as a pole. I'm a flower. She was a fairy, She was a fairy. So my thing is, it's important to educate the child.
You and I are saying the same thing.
Yes, because think about this, Snoop Dogg, or anybody in his lane, right? That when we were younger, we had to ask our parents about some of the stuff that you said, Snoop, in your music. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that we saw you do in your videos. Mm-hmm. So do you think our parents felt comfortable saying, well, you know what, the way that lady was bent over with her skirt up, twerking on the top of Snoop, I wasn't ready to educate my child on that.
Nobody says that. Or glorifying drugs.
No, nobody does. Or guns and shooting up, bang, bang, all that other kind of stuff. Yeah. It's important as a parent to educate your child on the world. Mm-hmm. And if this baby does not know why two women can have a child, because let's say, for example, one person could have had a child, and you know what? She had a best friend who was helping her raise her child with her. Does that make them lesbians? Right. No. That could just be two friends raising a child together. Because you know what? Both of them can't find a man who's going to act right.
And we have people in our lives who are like that, where they've come together, and decided to have or raise a child. So I do understand going to see a cartoon movie and boom, something like that shows up. And so you being caught off guard, and the mind of a child, they're very inquisitive. They want to know these things and they'll press you. So I do get what he's saying, but I don't think we should make it as difficult as it's not that difficult in my personal opinion. Because you're right, Trey, that's why I think it's so important to make sure that art represents life and there's representation in everything.
Yeah.
Because people, kids can have culture shocks when they step out into the real world.
Right.
They're seeing shit that they've never seen before because the parent has kept them sheltered and the outside world is completely different. Right. Now, when do you have those conversations? We can get into the semantics of all of that because I do recognize how that can be, catch you off guard, but the world just isn't your viewpoint. When my dad, I remember when it was time for me to go to college, I wanted to go to HBCU because I wanted to march on the band. That's all I was thinking about when I wanted to go to school. Mm-hmm. Go to FAMU, go to March, go to North Carolina A&T. And my dad was like, nah, I don't want you to go to an HBCU. You've been going to black schools all of your life, K through 12 or whatever. Now it's time. The world is bigger than just you and being all black. So I went to a PWI. I didn't want to go or whatever. But he felt it was important for me. And if you know my daddy, my daddy was a nigga. He was a nigga, very pro-black, all of that stuff. But he wanted me. I was going to be the one that was going to go out into the world. He wanted to make sure that I go to a place that's different. Now, sometimes I wish I would have, been able to go to HBCU, but yeah. So we got to go because I think the stream is about to cut off on Instagram anyway.
All right, y'all. Well, we would appreciate y'all for tuning in on live or either once this gets posted.
Yes.
So go ahead and close it out.
No, but again, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Please make sure again that you like, subscribe, comment, share, all of this good stuff, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all. Yay! I think the